What if I told you that a single app on your phone almost triggered one of the biggest digital crackdowns in US history? Not because of a scandal, not because of a crime, but because of who owned it. An app used by teenagers, small businesses, musicians, authors, and everyday people nearly erased overnight. This isn't just the story of TikTok. It's the story of power, fear, money, and control in the digital age. And once you see the full picture, you'll never scroll the same way again. As of early 2026, the TikTok controversy in the United States represents far more than a dispute over a social media platform. It sits at the intersection of national security, economic dependence, technological innovation, free speech, and data privacy, all colliding in real time. At the center of this storm is TikTok, owned by ByteDance. What began in the late 2010s as scattered concerns about user privacy slowly evolved into one of the most intense technology battles the US has ever faced, culminating in a near total ban in 2025, avoided only through a last-minute divestment deal. But to understand why this happened, we have to go back. Before the hearings, before the lawsuits, before TikTok became a political word. ByteDance was founded in 2012 with a radical idea for its time. Don't show people what their friends post, show them what an algorithm predicts they'll love. That idea worked. In 2017, ByteDance acquired Musical.ly for about $1 billion, merged it into TikTok, and quietly launched one of the fastest growing platforms the world had ever seen. By the time anyone noticed, TikTok wasn't just popular, it was dominant. And dominance attracts attention. In early 2019, TikTok was fined by US regulators for collecting data from children without proper consent. The fine itself wasn't huge, but the implications were. It raised a question regulators couldn't ignore. If TikTok could mishandle children's data, what else might it mishandle? Later that year, reports surfaced accusing TikTok of suppressing politically sensitive content. TikTok denied wrongdoing, but suspicion lingered because ByteDance was based in China, where companies operate under intelligence laws that, in theory, could compel cooperation with the state. That, in theory, mattered more than proof. In December 2019, the Pentagon banned TikTok from military devices. The tone had changed. By 2020, US-China relations were already strained. Then, India banned TikTok entirely, and Washington took notice. President Donald Trump issued executive orders demanding TikTok be sold or banned. Suddenly, TikTok wasn't just a social app, it was a bargaining chip. Deals were discussed, courts intervened, TikTok sued, the ban was delayed. But the message was clear. TikTok was living on borrowed time. When Joe Biden took office, he revoked Trump's orders, but not the concern behind them. Instead of targeting TikTok alone, the US expanded its focus to foreign-owned apps as a whole. By 2022, TikTok was banned on federal devices. States followed. Then came congressional hearings. In 2023, TikTok CEO Shou Zi Chew testified before Congress, promising safeguards and transparency. Lawmakers weren't convinced. The mood had shifted from questioning to action. In 2024, Congress passed the Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary-Controlled Applications Act, forcing ByteDance to divest TikTok or lose the US market. The vote wasn't close. It was bipartisan. TikTok sued again, this time arguing that banning a platform used by millions violated free speech. But in January 2025, the Supreme Court upheld the law. For a brief moment, TikTok actually went dark in the US. Then came extensions, negotiations, trade talks, and finally, in December 2025, a deal. A US majority-owned joint venture, oversight, and survival. This wasn't just a government versus company fight. More than 170 million Americans used TikTok. Over 7.5 million businesses relied on it. Creators built careers. Authors sold books. Musicians broke through. Economically, TikTok supported millions of jobs and billions in spending. A full ban wouldn't just silence an app, it would shock the economy. Competitors stood to gain. Investors saw opportunity. Civil liberties groups warned of dangerous precedent. Everyone had something at stake. TikTok changed how culture moves. It reshaped music, publishing, marketing, politics, and even how we consume news. Its algorithm didn't just show content, it shaped attention. And that's what made governments nervous, because in the digital age, attention is power. In the end, the TikTok deal chose stability over certainty. The app survived. The economy avoided disruption. The government asserted control. But the deeper questions remain unanswered. If data is power, who should control it? If algorithms shape society, who regulates them? And if an app can become a geopolitical flashpoint, what comes next? TikTok wasn't the end of this story. It was the warning shot. If you found this breakdown insightful, hit the like button. It really helps the channel. Subscribe for more deep dives into history, power, and the forces shaping our world. And I want to hear from you. Do you think the TikTok decision was about security or control? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll see you in the next one.